In the deep silence of space, a massive ship drifted like a dark shadow among the stars. Its metal skin reflected no light, and its engines made no sound. Inside, tall, silver-skinned beings stood around a glowing map. They were the Zereth Empire, rulers of over 100 worlds. Their eyes burned with cold light as they looked at one small blue planet on the screen. Earth. "Primitive world," said Commander Threx, his voice echoing through the chamber. "No warp travel, no real defense. It will fall in one cycle," the others nodded. For centuries, the Zerath had conquered every world they touched. They crushed any resistance. To them, Earth was nothing, a weak, unimportant planet. But far below on that small blue world humanity lived, unaware that their sky was being watched. It was a quiet night in California. Stars filled the sky like scattered diamonds. In a small observatory, Dr. Mira Kane, a young scientist, leaned over her console. Her eyes were tired but focused. She had been tracking a strange signal for days, something not from Earth. At first she thought it was interference, but then the signal repeated, perfectly timed every 6 hours. She frowned and began decoding. Numbers, symbols, and a pattern. Suddenly the screen flashed. The message translated into one chilling line: "Surrender or be cleansed." Mira froze. Her hands trembled as she read the words again. She checked the source. It was coming from outside the solar system, but now it was moving closer. She picked up her phone and called her supervisor at the government observatory. "So you need to see this. It's not a natural signal." "Mira, calm down. We've seen radio noise before. This isn't noise." She said, "It's a message." But no one believed her. 2 days later, something strange happened. All over the world, radar systems picked up a massive object entering the solar system. It wasn't a meteor. It changed direction, intelligently. In Washington, military officials gathered in secret rooms. In Moscow, satellites went dark. In Beijing, scientists tried to track the object, but it moved faster than any known technology. Every screen showed the same thing: a black dot, growing larger, heading straight for Earth. Back in her observatory, Mira didn't sleep. She kept decoding. Suddenly, new symbols appeared. Not a warning this time, but coordinates. The object was heading for the Pacific Ocean. At the same time, ships in the Pacific reported strange lights under the water. One captain said he saw something huge moving below, like a mountain rising from the deep, and then, without warning, the sky tore open. A massive ship appeared above the clouds, dark and silent, covering the stars. Its surface shimmered like oil. No one on Earth had ever seen anything like it. People stopped their cars. Cities went quiet. The news channels exploded. Social media filled with videos. A black triangle floating in the sky. Governments called emergency meetings. The United Nations sent messages into space asking for peace, for communication, but there was no reply. Then the ship spoke. A deep voice filled every radio, every TV, every phone. "This world belongs to the Zereth Empire. Your time is over. Surrender or be erased." The signal lasted only 10 seconds, but it was enough to make every human on Earth go silent. Mira stood outside the observatory, staring at the glowing sky. She could feel the ground shaking under her feet. Her phone rang non-stop. News, scientists, government calls. Everyone wanted answers. She looked up again. The alien ship didn't move. It was waiting. "They think we're weak," she whispered. "They think we'll bow down." Inside her lab, she opened her laptop and started recording. Her voice was steady, even though her hands shook. "This is Dr. Mira Kane. If anyone is hearing this, they're not here to talk. They're here to take. But there's something in their signal, something hidden. They're sending more than words." She looked closer at the data, strange energy spikes, repeating numbers, almost like instructions. Mira realized something terrifying. The Zereth were mapping the planet in real time. Every city, every defense system, every power grid, and then everything went dark. In less than 1 minute, power across the Pacific coast vanished. No lights, no communication. The alien ship began to glow with a deep red pulse. People screamed. Soldiers ran to their stations. Fighter jets launched into the air. But when they approached the alien ship, their systems failed mid-flight. One by one, they fell from the sky. From space, the Zereth watched calmly. "Pathetic," said Commander Threx. Their machines die before they reach us. Prepare the cleansing beam." But far below, Mira's computer flickered back to life. Her code had recorded the alien pulse, the energy signature of their weapon. She smiled slightly. "So, you bleed power too?" She didn't know it yet, but that small recording would become the key to humanity's survival. As the alien ship hovered over the dark ocean, lightning flashed across the sky. Mira looked up one last time before running back inside. "We may look weak," she said quietly, "but we're not done yet." The screen faded to black. A single sentence appeared. They thought Earth was weak. Until humanity showed up, the world was no longer the same. The giant alien ship still hung above the Pacific Ocean, dark, silent, and watching. Days had passed since its arrival, but it had not moved. Governments argued, scientists panicked, and people prayed. No one slept. No one felt safe. Every camera, every satellite, every eye on Earth was pointed toward that black triangle in the sky. And in one small underground lab in Nevada, Dr. Mira Kane was still working. The power had returned, but communication was unstable. Every few hours, the alien ship sent short bursts of energy toward the planet. It was like thunder without sound, invisible but powerful. Each pulse shut down satellites and caused electrical blackouts. Mira's eyes were red from lack of sleep. She had replayed the alien signal hundreds of times. "It's not just an energy weapon," she said to her assistant. "It's a network, and they're testing us." Her assistant frowned. "Testing us for what?" Mira stared at the screen. "To see how fast we break." In Washington, world leaders gathered in a secure room. The UN had already tried communication. Every message had failed. Now the military had taken control. A general stood and pointed to a holographic display of the alien ship. "We cannot allow it to stay in our orbit. We will strike first." There was silence in the room. Everyone knew what that meant. Missiles, jets, war. A voice from the British Prime Minister broke the silence. "What if they destroy the planet in return?" The general looked up with hard eyes. "They will destroy us anyway if we do nothing." And so the order was given. Operation Skyfire. Hours later, in the early morning darkness, a fleet of stealth bombers took off from secret air bases. Satellites watched as the alien ship floated over the ocean, glowing faintly in the moonlight. At exactly 3 a.m. UTC, the first missiles launched. 24 warheads, all aimed at the alien ship. Every nation watched. For a few seconds, hope returned to Earth. Then, nothing. The missiles reached the alien ship and vanished. Not exploded. Not deflected. Just gone. On Mira's monitor, a strange energy wave appeared. The aliens had absorbed the attack. Every single missile had been disintegrated before impact. Then came the reply. A single beam of red light shot from the alien ship toward the ocean. It was so bright it turned night into day. When it hit, the water exploded upward, creating a wall of steam hundreds of meters high. The shockwave circled the globe. Cities near the Pacific coast were shaken. Glass shattered. Power grids failed. Millions screamed as earthquakes followed. The Zerath had spoken their language. Violence. In the alien command chamber, Commander Threx watched the destruction with cold satisfaction. "These creatures are slow," he said. "They have no shield, no understanding of true power." His second officer nodded. "Their defenses are primitive. Should we begin cleansing?" "Not yet," Threx replied. "Let them feel fear first. Fear weakens the will." He turned to the glowing screen showing human cities. "Let them destroy themselves before we touch the ground." Back on Earth, chaos had begun. Governments blamed each other. People fled cities. News channels spread panic, but in one corner of the chaos, Mira continued her work. She noticed something strange in the data from the beam attack. A short pattern, a glitch inside the energy pulse. It was a signal. She zoomed in. The pattern repeated every few seconds, like a heartbeat. "Wait," she whispered. "It's not perfect." She ran simulations trying to understand. The alien's beam wasn't pure energy, it was data-driven. And in that data was a flaw. Her assistant looked over her shoulder. "Are you saying they made a mistake?" Mira smiled for the first time in days. Even gods make mistakes. That night she joined a secret call with global leaders. She presented her findings, a hidden weakness inside the alien communication network. "If we can send a counter-signal through their pulse frequency," she said, "we might disrupt their shields. even for a few seconds. The generals looked skeptical. "You're telling us we can bring that thing down with a computer virus?" one asked. Mira nodded. "If we hit it at the exact right moment, yes. We just need time." The world leaders agreed to give her that time, but they knew the aliens wouldn't wait forever. Hours later, the Zerath sent another message across all channels. "This is your final warning. 1 day to surrender. After that, Earth will burn." The message echoed across every radio, every screen. People cried. Others shouted. Some prayed. But humanity had already made its choice. They would fight back. The team froze. Commander Threx stepped from the shadows, taller than any human, eyes glowing like fire. He looked down at Mira. "You are intelligent." "For an animal," Mira met his gaze. "And you are arrogant." "For a god." Threx's expression hardened. "You cannot stop us." "Maybe not," she said, "but I can make sure you never forget us." The alien commander lunged forward. The soldiers fired, but his shield deflected every shot. Mira ducked, sliding under a control panel. She reached the second charge and armed it. "Go," she shouted. "Get to the ship." "But what about you?" one soldier yelled. She looked at them, smiled faintly. "Someone has to stay to trigger the last one." They hesitated, then saluted and ran. Threx turned toward her, furious. "You think your death means victory?" Mira stood tall, holding the detonator. "No, it means freedom." Outside, the alien beam core reached 90%. The Earth's atmosphere began to shimmer from the energy buildup. Inside the chamber, Mira looked up at the spinning sphere. Her voice was steady. "For Earth." She pressed the button. The world went white. From the surface, people saw the sky ignite. The alien mothership exploded in a silent flash. The clouds glowed gold and red, and fragments fell like burning stars. For a long time, there was only silence. Then, slowly, a cheer rose from the bunkers, the shelters, the ruins. Humanity had done it. The mothership was gone, but Mira was gone too. Her team made it back to Earth, broken but alive. They looked up at the dawn sky, the first dawn without the alien shadow. One soldier whispered, "She did it." In orbit, among the wreckage, a small signal flickered. Faint, weak, but alive. A voice barely audible repeated through the static, "This is Dr. Mira Kane. Humanity stands." The screen faded to black. The world was silent. For the first time in weeks, there were no explosions, no alarms, no alien ships above. The sky glowed soft orange as the sun rose over a battered, broken Earth. Cities were in ruins, but the planet was still alive. Humanity had survived. Dr. Mira Kane's team emerged from the underground command bunkers. They walked carefully through streets littered with debris, overturned cars and smoke. Fires burned here and there, but people were alive. Children cried in their parents' arms, and strangers hugged each other, grateful to simply be breathing. "They did it," one soldier whispered, looking up at the empty sky. "We actually did it." Mira stayed quiet, her mind on the battle still fresh. They had destroyed the Zerath mothership, stopped the planet-destroying beam, and won a war no one thought they could. Yet the cost was clear. Families lost, cities burned, and some heroes never came back. Mira herself had barely survived the core explosion, rescued by her team just seconds before it detonated. In orbit, fragments of the alien fleet floated silently. The once mighty Zerath Empire had suffered a crushing defeat. Alien ships that had once dominated entire systems now lay in ruins. And yet, among the debris, sensors detected movement. A small ship, damaged, still alive. Back on Earth, scientists studied signals from the wreckage. Even weakened, the aliens were shocked by humanity. No other species had fought back so fiercely, so intelligently. Among their data files, alien commanders recorded one thought over and over. These humans, they adapt, they fight, they survive. For humans, the lesson was clear. Survival had been only the beginning. In the weeks after the battle, the nations of Earth began to rebuild. Together. Old rivalries were set aside. Borders became less important. Technology recovered from alien wreckage was shared among all countries. Space programs that had been decades behind suddenly jumped forward. Humanity was no longer just Earthlings. They were now a species that had faced a galaxy-wide threat and lived. Mira worked tirelessly to establish communication networks using the alien tech. Her team repaired satellites and defense systems. She often looked up at the sky, remembering the shadow of the mothership, the red glow of its beam, the soundless weight of death above her. She whispered softly, "They thought we were weak." And then, with a small smile, "Until we showed up." Not everyone celebrated. Mourning spread through the cities. Families of soldiers and scientists who had fallen in the fight lit candles and told stories. Monuments rose in memory of those who had sacrificed everything for the survival of humanity. Mira herself helped to design one, a simple glass sphere glowing from within, representing the unity of people and the strength of the human spirit. Yet even amid grief, hope blossomed. Children born after the battle would never know the fear of the first alien arrival. People looked up at the stars not with fear, but with curiosity and courage. The Earth had changed. Humanity had changed. Then one evening, as Mira monitored the repaired satellites, a faint signal appeared from deep space. It was weak, almost unnoticeable, but the pattern was familiar. An alien frequency signature. Her heart skipped a beat. She leaned closer to the screen. A message blinked once, then repeated, "We underestimated you. We will return." Mira didn't panic. Instead, she stood taller. She turned to her team and said quietly, "Let them come. We've learned. We've fought. And next time, we won't just survive. We'll show them who we are." Her words spread across the world through news channels, transmissions, and messages. Across continents, people listened and felt something rise inside them. Pride, courage, and a sense of unity, stronger than anything before. Months later, Earth launched a new fleet of human ships. Not just for defense, but for exploration. Humanity now looked to the stars with a new vision. Scientists, soldiers, and engineers worked together, building ships faster, smarter, stronger. Each vessel carried the same message. We are Earth, we survive, we fight, we win. And somewhere far beyond the solar system, alien scouts would watch and whisper, "These humans, they are not weak. They are something else entirely." On Earth, Mira stood atop a hill, watching the horizon glow with the rising sun. She felt a deep, quiet pride. Humanity had faced an enemy that thought they were nothing, and yet against impossible odds they had won. The world was battered, scarred, but alive. And so was humanity's spirit. Mira took a deep breath. She looked up at the stars. "They thought Earth was weak," she whispered once more. Until humanity showed up. The wind carried her words across valleys, cities, and oceans, across a planet reborn, united, and ready for whatever lay ahead. And somewhere in the silence of space, that message would echo for the first time. The galaxy had taken notice. The next morning, Mira watched the sun rise through the dusty glass of her lab. For a moment, the world looked peaceful. Orange skies, calm air, soft light. But she knew it wouldn't last. She pressed a button and started the program that would decode the alien frequencies in real time. Lines of data filled the screen. Her assistant asked quietly, "Do you really think we can win?" Mira didn't look up. "I don't know," she said softly. "But if we don't fight, we've already lost." Then suddenly a new signal appeared. It was stronger, sharper, and coming from multiple directions. Her eyes widened. "They're not waiting for surrender," she whispered. "They're already here." Out in the ocean, small black shapes began rising from the water, smaller alien ships moving toward the continents. Their engines glowed red, and their shadows fell over cities. Mira looked at the radar feed. Hundreds of ships, thousands. She took a deep breath and whispered to herself, "They think we're weak." She pressed the intercom. "Activate Project Guardian." The screen flickered, showing hidden underground facilities coming online, secret weapons, long forgotten by governments. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had a plan, and this time Earth would strike back. The world had changed. The massive dark ship of the Zerath Empire floated above the Pacific just days ago. Now smaller alien craft rose from the sea, lights glowing red, shadows sliding toward continents. The humans understood, finally. This was no test. It was a war. In the underground lab, Dr. Mira Kane's eyes burned with determination. She had found the flaw. The alien beam that had shattered coastlines, shattered cities, held a rhythm, a hidden pulse. She told her assistant, "If we send a counter-pulse, we might break their shield." Her assistant shook his head. "You really believe we can hit them like that?" Mira nodded. Yes, they think we're weak. They haven't seen what we can do. Up above, the Zerath watchers frowned at their screens. Ships were not supposed to fall so easily. When a drone intercept mission returned with critical damage, their commander muttered, "Something wrong with the human machines." Meanwhile, across Earth, alliances formed. Rival nations set aside old grudges. Scientists shared code. Soldiers shared training. In underground bunkers and hidden factories, human drones built from reverse-engineered alien parts rolled out. In the skies above New York, a human squadron of stealth fighters charged. The pilots steeled themselves. They had learned from the missiles that died in space. This time they aimed for the alien relay network, the black nodes that pulsed in orbit. When they reached the nodes, they fired an electromagnetic blast. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the nodes flickered. The shield around the huge alien ship flickered. The pilots cheered. The world watched via live feed. From the control room of the Zerath mothership, alarms blared. Commander Threx slammed his fist on the console. What trick is this? They should be dead. He barked orders. Lock them down. Strip the orbit. Prepare the cleansing beam. On Earth, Mira sat at her console, sweat on her brow. The data feed showed the shield oscillating. She pressed the key sequence. The human counterpulse entered their network. The shield shimmered, cracked like ice under a hammer. The massive ship above the ocean lit up. A howl rose across Earth's cities. Fear and hope mixed into one. The shield fractured. The beam weapon misfired, cascading back into the alien craft. Two of their smaller ships exploded in orbit. Cheers erupted. For the first time, humanity had hit back and wounded the enemy. Across continents, people stood and watched. Some cried. Others laughed. Still others just stared, stunned that this was real. But the victory was not complete. The Zerath pulled back the damaged nodes and reinforced the shield. The cleansing beam began charging again, this time faster, stronger. The mothership's engines glowed. It prepared to fire. Mira's heart pounded. "We have seconds," she said. She sent the signal to military satellites. Now. Everywhere, human forces executed the next phase. Drones from South America fired EMP charges. Cyber units in Europe hacked alien relays. Submarine units in the Indian Ocean disrupted their power grid network. From space, the alien ship faltered. The cleansing beam blinked. The shield collapsed for a moment. Just a moment, long enough. Human ships slipped through the gap. They fired into the alien ship's hull. Explosions rang out. Fire bloomed in the void of space. The humans had done the impossible. They had broken the invaders' defense. They had hurt the unbeatable enemy. Inside the alien command room, Threx watched the damage feed. His face twisted not with anger but with shock. He whispered to his second officer, "This species..." He paused. "They adapt. They fight back." The second officer's jaw dropped. "We never expected outright war." Threx's voice hardened. "We never underestimated them again. Prepare the ground fleet. They did this in days. We will retaliate in hours." On Earth, as the human fleet returned home, Mira stepped outside the observatory. The night sky glowed orange and red in the west, where the sun had set behind fires and explosions. Smoke rose. Sirens screamed. And yet, for the first time, there was something else. Resolve. A news broadcast cut in. "Humanity has broken the shield of the Zerath mothership." Reports of alien ships destroyed. "This is the turning point." People in the streets looked up. Some held hands. Some just stood silent. But all felt it. Something shifted. Mira looked at the pale moon hiding behind clouds. She whispered, "They thought we were weak." Then she raised her voice so soft the wind carried it. "Until we showed up." But even as hope spread, the war was not over. The alien cleansing beam still charged above the ocean. The ocean trembled. Cities near the coast braced. The world held its breath. In the lab, Mira pressed one last key. A new program launched, Project Guardian. It activated hidden weapons, ancient bunkers, and human-built starships launching toward the stars. The humans were no longer just defending. They were going on the offensive. In space, the alien fleet prepared to strike back. Ships launched from orbit. The sky blazed. The war had entered a new phase, and on Earth a single phrase echoed across the planet. "We fight. We survive. We win." The screen faded on Mira's face, determined, proud, ready. The next part of the battle would decide not just Earth's future, but how the galaxy would remember humanity. The world was burning. Above the oceans, the sky glowed red. Alien ships filled the clouds, raining fire. Cities trembled under their shadow. Humanity's victory in space had angered the Zerath Empire, and now the real invasion had begun. Dr. Mira Kane stood inside the underground command base of Project Guardian. The walls shook with distant explosions. Screens flashed with updates. London attacked. Tokyo holding. New York evacuated. She gripped the edge of her desk. "How many ships do we have left?" "Less than 200, her assistant replied quietly. "Most drones destroyed." Mira's eyes hardened. "Then we make the last 200 count." In orbit, the Zerath mothership burned but lived. Cracks glowed across its armor. Commander Threx sat inside, fury burning in his cold eyes. "These humans are not what we expected," he said to his crew. "They strike like predators, not prey." His second officer bowed. "Shall we finish it?" Threx nodded slowly. "Yes, prepare the planet destroyer." We erased their sky. A deep vibration filled the alien ship. A red core began to spin in its center. The planet cleansing beam, a weapon designed to tear a world apart. On Earth, satellites captured the charging energy. Mira stared at the readings, horror on her face. "They're going to wipe the planet," she said. "We have maybe 1 hour before it fires," a voice came through her radio. "The World Military Council." "Mira, can we stop it?" She took a breath. "Maybe, but we'll need to go up there." Silence followed. Then the general replied, "Then we go." The plan was mad. Send a small team to infiltrate the alien mothership and destroy its core from inside. But it was the only chance left. That night, the Guardian fleet rose from hidden launch silos across the world. Small ships built from scavenged alien tech streaked into the dark sky. Among them was the Horizon, a craft carrying Mira and a handful of soldiers. As the ship broke through the clouds, Mira looked down at the Earth. Glowing cities, broken lands, fires burning where oceans used to be. "This is our home," she whispered. "We don't let it fall," the pilot smiled grimly. "Then let's go punch a god in the face." The alien mothership filled their view, a black mountain hanging in space. Its energy core pulsed brighter and brighter. The countdown had begun. Mira turned to the team. "Once we enter, we split. We plant EMP charges near the core. We have to disable it manually, no remote trigger." A soldier asked quietly, "And if we fail?" She looked at him. "Then at least they'll remember we tried." The Horizon's engines roared as it dove into a small fracture in the mothership's hull. The interior was massive. Metallic tunnels, glowing symbols, rivers of energy flowing like blood. Alien drones spotted them instantly. Red lights flared. The team fired back, bullets and plasma lighting the dark corridors. Mira ran behind cover, holding the EMP charges close to her chest. "Left corridor," shouted the pilot. "The core is near." They reached a circular chamber where a giant sphere spun, the beating heart of the ship. Lightning flashed around it, and the hum was so loud it made their bones shake. Mira placed the first charge. Her hands trembled, but her voice was calm. 2 more to go. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed through the chamber. "You should not be here."